All right, YouTube, we will be doing. Should probably look wild. Boxing content, right? We have cones, we have gloves, we have, well, this is more mainly for like, you know, actual kicks and whatnot, but let me sit up. We are doing boxing content, off rip, right? Getting it out the way, clearing the air. We're doing boxing content. Why boxing content? I have a history of martial arts since 7 years old. You know, there's periods where I stopped, and I was back on it, and then I stopped again. But it's not on some rusty, it's just a long story, can't get into right now. But anyway, boom, to focus. Boxing, the combat, the sweet science of boxing is a sweet science, right? The sweet science. And, you know, I'm around a lot of youthful, vibrant men, pause, no diddy. And with that being said, you know, I know boxers, professional boxers, etc. It's just utilizing an interest and a hobby and displaying it on this channel. That's honestly what I can honestly be real and raw with y'all about and say. Am I looking for a thumbnail right now? That's not gonna be the thumbnail. I'm just messing around. But yeah. Boxing, yes, we'll be boxing. Now, the snippet I did, you know, that was just some co-workers who have an interest in boxing, but we need to go over the basic fundamentals: stance, footwork, hand-eye coordination, mobility drills, etc. Now, sparring, you know, is very sporadic. People have different styles, different rhythms to how they fight, etc. You know, somebody could be a southpaw, crazy hook. Somebody could be, you know, peekaboo style with a crazy uppercut, etc. Boxing is an art form, and utilizing and learning your style is key. Forgive me if I'm finicking with these cones. I don't know, they just look kind of, you know, fun in a sense. But anyway, so yeah, boxing. I just have to gather up everybody who's really serious about it. And from gathering up and getting people who are really serious about it, you know, we'll go over basics, footwork, stance, combos, slips, pivots, etc. Endurance drills, because you know, it's a different type of cardiovascular endurance with fighting than say with like swimming, cycling, running even, right? It's a different level of tax on the body and exertion. The wind is just different for various different reasons. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited for this. We're gonna call it, it's basically a series, spring sparring, and then, you know, depending on how serious people are about it, summer sparring. But yeah, that's really it for this video, for the main part. You know, we're just, nah, I'm not gonna use any of that as a thumbnail. Imagine if I did though. That's really what we're doing. We're just staying fun, creative, but also we have to be informative. At least I seek to be informative because, you know, for the 562 subscribers, thank you. Anybody who's new here, I am Kavaris Williams, and this is a channel of fitness, wellness, self-improvement, you know, a vast amount of things. But those are the main, you know, niches of this channel that make, you know, me. And yeah, boxing, who doesn't love boxing? You know, you see it even now. Like, look at what Aiden Ross has expanded his promotions into. The Paul Brothers, KSI, etc. You know, all from fellow YouTubers. So, it makes sense. It's gonna flow with the channel. We just gotta really see who's really about it. Obviously, headgear, mouth guards, leaving the ego at the door, and just it's all about just getting good work in, you know, and boxing is a a key skill, survival skill, in a sense. I say to know how to fight, you know, in today's world. The world is dangerous. Better to have it than not to. Obviously, people don't fight fair nowadays and carry them. But you should, I mean, if you're in America, exercise your Second Amendment rights and get the, so, yeah. That's really it for this video, but we're just, you know, just a quick announcement to connect with you guys and upload something. Being consistent with uploads, yes, have to be consistent with uploads, but that has to make sense and it can't be forced. And you know, like what Mr. B said, make 100 videos and improve the quality each time. Improve something. He didn't say quality. Improve something each time. You know, I take notes and listen to these type of men who are successful on YouTube. So I seek to be vastly successful on YouTube. So it's not an overnight success, but I am very grateful for my 562 subscribers. Those who have subscribed to me. I'm kind of talking a little fast. I don't know why, but I'm not in a rush because after I turn the camera off, upload this, it's gonna be chun. But yeah, just connecting with the audience, building an audience, and just you know, I love fitness, I love wellness, I love sharpening skills in my body, and just staying sharp, on point. You know, when you stay prepared, you don't have to get prepared. That's a good takeaway in life. So that being said, you know, we're gonna work out the kinks, let people get comfortable in their flow, get their combos in, get their head movement right, their rolls, slips, etc., feints, pivoting, switch hitting if you got that in your bag. If you're a switch hitter, well damn, you want some Terrence Crawford. But you know, I'm even excited for Inouye's fight. He fights soon in May, I believe. He's fighting in Vegas. He's one of my favorite fighters, other than like Tank and Jerron Ennis. Well, they call Boots, but I love boxing. I follow boxing. You know, Ryan Garcia, that's an easy W for him coming up with Rolly, however you say it. And yeah, we're just making everything flow, keeping everything fun, informative, especially Sean. More HIIT training on the way. That's HIIT. That's the acronym High Intense Interval Training. But yeah, you know, that's what I do with the resistance bands, or I do a movement, like I do a curl, the curl goes into dips, or I do diamond push-ups to failure and then do pull-ups. There's something that, like, that's just an example of like certain stuff I do. Obviously, the gyms have been packed, so I've been utilizing that 90-pound weight vest. I still utilize my fat grips. I haven't utilized some of my other equipment in the other room over there, but I'm bound to. So I have a step ladder, you know, for footwork. These cones, other cones, just a lot of stuff is fun, you know. It just takes creativity and, you know, commitment to what you're doing. You can't feel forced. People can tell when something is forced. So yeah, boxing is a good addition to this channel. So, and then from there, you know, shout out Dean the Great. I like him, you know. I respect Dean the Great. I feel like he's one of the best YouTube boxers, honestly. Shout out DDG, shout out KSI, shout out all of them, you know. Boxing is fire. I love boxing. And I love martial arts a lot more too, just because of like the rich history of it and the amount of techniques and tier list, so to speak, of it, you know, from Shotokan, Kaja Kempo, you got Taekwondo, Judo, what's that other style? Obviously, I was trying to name like the karate, like, type, but you know, you have Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Did I already say that? I don't think I did. Kickboxing. You know, there's just so many layers and styles and flavors of combat in and of itself to where, you know, I've always been drawn to that because of what? Dragon Ball Z. It's not just Dragon Ball Z though, but You know, boxing is on the way. Not to ramble and yap to you guys. But yeah, even my introduction into, martial arts and just a love for it. Just watching old VHS tapes now. Yeah, I'm sure my age saying that. You're like, what are you talking about? But watching Iron Monkey, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, a lot of old Bruce Lee movies, Enter the Dragon, The Last Dragon, what's the movie? The Boss, something Boss, like, you know what I'm talking about. The movie where Bruce Lee's working as like in an ice warehouse. Man, he's like an ice manufacturer. Whatever, you get the point. But yeah, a lot of Five Deadly Venoms, that's another good one. But all of this has just molded my interest and that's tied to a lot of things. That's why I respect a lot of Japanese culture and its influence on my life. You know, video games alone, like, look, that's all thanks to Japan, Nintendo, Japan, like trading cards, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, etc. But staying on topic of boxing, yes, boxing is on the way, guys. Don't worry. Just have to really lock in with some people who are serious about it and see how it can grow from there. But that's it for this video. I'm making a video, you know, to connect with you guys and stay consistent on YouTube. And yeah, that's really it. So with that note, you know, we're out of here. Thank you. Oui.